You are going to love this next guest. She is the youngest guest I've ever had on the show, as she is only 6 years old and an author of 3 books. Check this out.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Hey, Giant Builders. I hope you're having a great day. Our guest today is Delisa Abraham, and her daughter is an author. So let's find out how this all came about. So, hi, Delisa. How are you?
Hi, Louise. I am well. How are you today?
I'm fine. So tell us about your book writing and your daughter.
Well, it's not my book writing. My role as the parent is to support her on this journey, get her message out there, and I think I'm doing that. So that's a great thing. So this actually started when my mom had cancer. She had breast cancer, and Faith was about 2 years old. And our dog Sparkle, there's Faith and Sparkle, they were there to help her and support her. We essentially moved in so they can spend more time with her and go through that routine, making sure she was eating healthy and get moving her body, exercising and moving her body, and then giving her lots of love and kisses and support and encouragement during that time, especially when she was going through it. And my mom had, after the radiation treatment, Faith saw the radiation burns, which are the effects of radiation. And that was very scary to her. And although we were speaking with her at that time, we didn't realize how much she felt personal. Like this was her personal mission to save her, to help her, because she didn't say that during this entire time. And after my mom recovered and the burns healed, Faith was 3, and maybe a week or two after she turned 3, she said she identified as a superhero doctor. 12 o'clock at night, I want to sleep. She's up, chatting away, and then saying, Mom, I'm a superhero doctor. And that is how we started on this journey.
Okay, so walk me through the process on how she puts her book together.
Oh, of course. Yes. So after she said this, she keeps going on. She's like, can we write it down? At the time, she said it was homework. And I was like, sure. Now, I was not thinking she literally meant this. And every day she was asking me, oh, when are we going to write it down? Can we write it down? Can we write it down? And I did. It came about maybe 2 months after because she was consistently asking because she wanted to share the story. And in my mother's house, on her dining room table, I pulled out my cell phone because I was like, this is going to be such a great memory for us so she can know where her brain was at. And then she started telling me she's a superhero doctor. And then I would ask her questions like, well, what does this mean? What do you need? And then she also said, what color she wants and how she wants the cover and all of these little things. And I thought that was so adorable because I didn't expect it to go beyond that. And after we wrote it down, and she, after 8 minutes, she's like, turn this off. I don't want to be on camera. But it was such a nice memory. And afterwards, she's like, Mom, can this be a real book? And I said, yeah, of course. Why not? Obviously, not thinking we would be where we are today. I just wanted to let her know there are possibilities of this. And then my role was to go out and I was trying to figure out how we're going to get a publisher because I wanted her to know that even though we have great ideas, sometimes they don't pan out the way we think they're going to pan out, or maybe we need to flush it out a bit more, or sometimes that's just the end of it. Right? The idea is just the idea and it doesn't go any further at that time. But when I called around, surprisingly, to different publishers, smaller and bigger ones, they thought that this was really great. They thought it was my story. And I said, no, this is not my story. This is my daughter's story. Is there any viability? And then they said, yes, this is actually one lady. Her name is Doris Chung. She was actually closing her publishing business. And she said, this is a series. So I was like, oh, okay. And then she got me in contact with an editor that she's worked with before, children's editor. and the editor got me in contact with an illustrator, and they really loved it. And the editor did her name is Ellie. She did such a really exceptional job in saying, "This is cute. You have 8 pages. We need more. You need more." And
Right,
I was like,
break it
"Well,
down.
yeah, yeah, yeah." And I said, "Well, how much more you need?" She's like, Stuff. We need more stuff. You need to fill it in, right?" And that was really big because then I went back to Faith and I said, "Well, we need more stuff. You have to talk about what are the things that you did." And that's when the stuff in the book, the things in the book are things she actually did. So the first book, Superhero Faith, she's sharing how she's a superhero within herself, using her heart, using kindness to help her grandmother.
Mm.
Dr. Faith, exact same thing. She's helping her grandmother, but now she's outside of the home. She goes into the classroom and she's helping other children. She sees them hurt and she's being vulnerable and asking for help. Now she's also at home in her room with her pup, her best friend, her pup, and fixing her stuffy. She's going that independent route a bit to say, "Let me try to help you. Even though I broke you, I'm the one that's gonna help you." And that's how we got started. And that's the essentially the journey.
Oh, how exciting. All right.
Mhm.
So, and then what are her other books?
So Superhero Faith is the first one. Dr. Faith is the second one. So we did it together but separated it.
Okay.
And Astronaut Faith is the third book. This one is in process right now. And
Ooh,
that one came about not last year, the end of 2021. 2020, yeah, we're in 2023. So yeah, end of 2021 in December, we were going through science. And I'm a single parent, but she knows who her dad is. And sometimes she sees him. And she was going through this time. She went through that time when she was 2.5, 3, but more specifically, she was feeling lonely.
mm,
Um, and although we were showering her with love and communicating with her and doing all the things that we're supposed to do as parents, um, we cannot fill certain voids. But what we can do is be aware of where there is a void and do our best to help them go through that process, right? And
mhm.
recognize what they need at that time. And at that time, at the end of 2021, we were going through the planets because she really liked the planets. And then on the spot, she came up with this story like, "Oh, I tried to live on Earth and another on Earth, sorry. She left Earth to go live on the sun because that was her way of remembering it. And
Right.
the sun was too hot, and then she went to Mercury, and then she went to these planets, but there's always something wrong with the planets. And at the end of like, I think it was Uranus or something like that, the last planet, she recognized, she got a phone call from her grandmother saying, "Where are you guys? I cooked dinner," right? And then she was like, "Oh, Earth is where I live. This is the only place that we can live right now. And like, there's someone that cares for me." And after that story, I started asking her more questions. And that's when I realized like she admitted and she said, "I just felt lonely and I felt sad that my dad, um, is not around and he's not spending time with me because he wasn't spending time with her at that time." Uh,
Mhm,
and she hadn't seen him. I think it was like once for that entire year she saw him, which is, a sad time. And
mhm,
yeah, so that was her way of processing and recognizing that I don't have to feel so sad or hold this in on the inside or try to run away because she was trying to escape into these different planets. But really I have people right here that love me, that are supporting me. And uh with my father, I will share with him, and eventually she shared with him, and she's saying like, "This is how I felt," because we encourage her, you need to share and express that and recognize this is where he's at, and finding and building that relationship together. Like, it's not her job to heal that, right? Because
mhm.
she's only a child. uh and and so that was how this third book came about and how she can express it. And as I was starting to share with other parents, as well as you know for those that in our media to that print our books, they're like, "This is actually a beautiful, encouraging story," because there are so many children
Mm.
who feel alone, who feel lonely, who have experienced a loss, maybe from a grandparent moving away or has passed, or a parent. And so they could identify with feeling like, I gotta run away. I'm so alone. Where can I run to? Where can I go? But really, she has that source of comfort of someone saying, hey, where are you? I cooked dinner. Like, even though it's just dinner, it could be anything. Oh, hey, I'm right here. I love you. Then they realize, I don't need to run away. I have that support right here. I have that love right here. Um, and I could feel sad about what's happening, but hey, let me stick on and hold on to where that support is and where that love is, um, to get me through this experience, or this sadness, or this anger, or this hurt, or this pain.
That's amazing. I love that. That is so beautiful. So I love the fact that she kept on you. I want to write
Yes.
this book. I want to write this book. Mom, why aren't you writing this book? I love her determination.
Yes.
I love the fact that you are so intuitive to her to know how to walk her through the process.
Mhm.
I love your connection with her that did do that. So tell me about your dogs. Is it Sparkles?
Yes, Sparkle
Okay.
is just one.
Okay.
Sparkle is our pup. She is a rescue dog. She's 9 years old now. And the story of Sparkle, she was adopted in 2015. My mom wanted she wanted a dog. She never wanted dogs before. And then that was what she wanted. And we went to look at the shelter, right? Because it was like, it's better to adopt.
Mhm.
And she just saw Sparkle, and she's like, there's a sparkle in her eye. And I said, that's great, but who's going to walk this dog? Right? Because they set up the shelter. Um, Sparkle is high energy, and because of her breed and all of those things. Great, who's going to do that? Oh, don't worry, it will happen. It's fine. Yeah, it turned out to be me. It turned out to be me. And in 2017, Faith was born, and I don't know, they just became best friends after that. But they're very similar in terms of personality. Uh, when I want to be alone, leave me alone. When I want to share, like, very loving, very kind, very supportive. What's going on? Curious, always curious. The two of them always curious. What's happening? I want to know, who are you? What? Um, and But at the same time knows, okay, let me just take a step back. Let me observe. Let me watch. And That's when we got Sparkle, and how they started to build their bond together.
Oh, that's so sweet. How hard did you find it to be to write, to put these books together?
Oh, it just started off as a beautiful project for us to do together, and a memory for us to do together. So the process is a bit challenging, and it can get expensive. If you don't know what you're doing, or you're not being resourceful, you could spend thousands upon thousands of dollars, because you also need a marketer. Even if you have a publisher, um, they may only give you $5,000, $10,000, because they want to make sure that there's a return on their investment. And or they may just say no, even though it's a really great book, they might tell you no, but keep the story and then give it to somebody else, right? And I wanted something for Faith. I wanted her to know that this is where you were, in your heart, in your mind, mentally. This is where you were. This is where your thought process was. And having the editor and the illustrator together, and recognize, oh, we could self-publish. I needed help with marketing, because I am not social media savvy at that time. At that time, I didn't know anything about it. So yes, I did invest in a marketing person to help us market it, and get social media started, because I didn't know any of those things. So I did outsource where needed.
Uh,
Um, and That was really great. And of course, we contacted family and friends to get the book, which was very helpful, because we got at least 100 books out of the way at first,
mhm.
initially, which was like, great, okay, are we going to continue this? And then Faith actually said to me, oh, like, we need to sell more books. We need to sell more books. And I was like, well, why? We need to sell more books because more people need to know my message of kindness and compassion. God told me in my heart that we need to have kindness and compassion, and we need to share that with other people. That's what I'm supposed to do. And she is the engine, right? Or the like the motivating factor, the CEO saying, this is what we need. I don't know how you're gonna do it, just do it.
Well, I don't know. It sounds like God's the CEO and
Yeah,
she's
yes,
just the
yes.
the processor there.
Yeah, well, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because everything that we've done so far, Joe says, well, God said this and God said that. And I was like, all right. And it's not just me saying, all right, it's also me taking time as well to recognize, is this what we're supposed to do? And taking time in meditation and reflection and in prayer to recognize, is this the path we should go? How should we proceed? What's the next steps and so on. So
Well, that's
you are
wonderful.
absolutely correct.
So, well, can we talk to Faith?
Absolutely.
Hey, Faith, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Your mommy was telling me all about your books. I'm so proud of you. That is so cool. Did you like writing books?
Yeah.
Yeah. How old are you now?
6.
6. Oh my goodness. Do you like being 6?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're writing a new book now? Or you're writing about another book? The astronaut book?
The astronaut book is gonna be coming out soon, but I'm not sure if I'll think about if I want another book out, and I will talk about it. I'll think about it, but I'll tell you when I know which one.
Oh, well, I'm so honored that you let me know. I will be so excited to hear about it. How do you get your ideas on how to write your books?
From my heart and from my voice, because from my from my heart I got it from God, from me, from my God, and then my message came out to my mouth, and I told my mommy, and then she's like I called it homework because we didn't write it down on a piece of paper and we did a video.
That is so cool. I love the fact that God puts it on your heart. That makes it even more special. So, and I think Sparkle is in your book too.
Yeah.
Do you like Sparkle?
Yeah, he's my sidekick.
He's your sidekick. What color is he?
She's kind of like she's in the dog park right now with my grandmother and mama.
Oh, does he like the
But Sparkle is like almost like have blackish, whitish, grayish.
Oh, does it take you a long time to write a book?
No, I only write it when I was 3 years old.
Okay. Is it going to take you a long time to finish your astronaut book?
I'm not sure
You're not sure?
because I don't make it, but somebody else make it, and
Do the drawing.
like somebody used to draw it, and somebody else do the write it, and somebody else make the book.
Like put it together. Yeah.
That is so
She's telling
cool.
you the whole process.
So is it okay if I give some of your books away to people who listen?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that'll be fun.
We will help you because I would like to help you give some books away.
Well, that's very sweet of you. So I know I have an idea. What if I
Maybe I should keep some books and then we can put it up behind us, and then when we get different meetings, other people can see our books, and then the other books because we can give it away to other people.
Well, that sounds like a fun idea. What if
Listen.
can I do this? Can I buy a book and then send it to you and have you put your autograph on it?
Yeah, I know how to do my autograph.
Oh, do you just faith or do you write
I
something
do
else?
I do faith, and then I like to do hearts or cherries.
Oh,
I like to do hearts or cherries. And maybe we could keep like that astronaut faith, one super faith, one Dr. Faith, and one astronaut faith. We could have one, and then we could put it behind us, and people could see. And then the rest of the books, we could give it to people. We could give it to people to know. To, then they could read the books. Even if they don't have kids, they could still have the book.
that is a good idea. There's no reason why to have a kid and not read the book, is there?
No.
Everybody should have a faith book.
And it's not nice. It's not nice to be. It's nice to be mean. It's not good to be mean to people. It's good to
Mm-mm.
be nice.
It is good to be nice.
Because one time I had a bully who who called me violent stuff. Like
Oh, I'm
like
so sorry. Did that make you very sad?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why anybody would call you anything that's violent because you're a
It's
sweet, sweet
that
person.
it's like a death stuff.
Oh, that's terrible. Well, I'm going to
So
order my grandchildren one of your
I
books too.
I stayed quiet. I stayed quiet because I was scared and sad. But in Jesus in my heart, He told me to just keep your mouth shut.
Mm. Well, I am so glad that you,
Sometimes you could talk about it, but sometimes you could just keep your mouth closed and not talk, and not run away and just cry.
I am so glad that you have good ears that hear Jesus.
what do you say?
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, do you want to say anything else to the people who are listening?
Yes,
Okay.
because the people are listening. Be, being mean is not nice. Being kind is better, because if you are a mean person, it's not good, because sometimes you might be mean to other people, and it's not good to be mean, because that's not really nice. Place. Even to the people who don't know, it's not nice to them either.
Oh, that's very smart. You are such a smart girl.
And and you should get my book from Superhero Faith.
All right. Well, oh,
Yeah.
got one there, huh?
Yeah.
The listeners, leave a comment below and we'll have a drawing for Faith's books, Superhero Faith and Dr. Faith, Super Dr. Faith. Those are really cool books, Faith. I am so proud of you. And there's a picture of Sparkle there too.
There,
Oh, those are so cool. I love that. Well, thank you, Faith. I appreciate you talking to me. You're a wonderful little girl.
thank you. And I have to say a few more things to the people who are
Okay,
listening.
go ahead.
The people who are listening and who are still here, I would like to let you thank you for listening to my kind message. The next time when I'm talking to you guys, I like to give you a nice hug, but I can't give you a real hug, but we like to give you an invisible hug.
Oh, all right. Invisible hugs. Oh, thank you.
The people I do, the people who like to be kind, I like to be kind too, because being mean is not nice. Also, when I was in school and people were being mean to me, I was still being kind to them.
Oh, that's a good thing to do. God wants us to do that, doesn't he?
Yeah. Bye. I would like to see you when I would like to tell you when I get think of my other book. I
Okay.
like to talk to you not a different day. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you, listeners. A big invisible hug from Faith. All right, listeners, we'll see you next time.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.